Hi, Aries. So I was meditating just before I turned on the camera, and I was hearing that there's like a confusion. Um, you guys kind of feel out of place. You've been working really hard to improve yourselves, um, but it doesn't feel like it's been working. Or you take like 2 steps forward and you feel like you take 3 steps back. Um, So I think at the end of November, you're having a lot of like money's been kind of like rolling around in your head. It's like you really want to save money to do something in your life, to move forward in your life, and it just hasn't really been possible. And I think that the end of November is really going to bring a lot of clarity. I think that you guys may start feeling a little better about that. I mean, you do have to do the work, but with the way the planets are lining up, I think that communication is going to be, I think that you're going to be able to communicate in a much slower, more articulate way. We are starting the Mercury retrograde shadow period here in a couple of days. And that really does slow down communication a lot, but sometimes we actually think about things before we speak. So that could dispel a lot of arguments. So with the planets, there's just a couple of them at the end of this month. There's a new moon in Scorpio, which is your 8th house of income. So you may be either like getting a new job or promotion. There could be like a salary bump. It doesn't really have to be a really big thing, but maybe you put yourself out there and promoted yourself like last month, the beginning of November, and finally you're starting to see the benefits of what you did. The 21st, the sun is in Sagittarius, which is your 9th house of like government proceedings, travel. And the sun kind of brings healing. It brings opportunities to um, get contracts completed. It helps to bring clarity to maybe options that you've had lately and you weren't really sure which one to take. And so you may be able to, like any kind of legal binding contract, be able to actually finalize that. We do have Neptune going direct in Pisces. This is your 12th house of your hidden self, your privacy, kind of your shadow self. And when Neptune, it's been retrograde for about 6 months now. When it's in your 12th house, it can kind of let you see illusions in your life. It kind of brings out secrets, but also you could like share way too much, or other people are sharing way too much with you. But you can get information about your past and really feel like you can heal from it or correct things from your past. So when it goes direct, these illusions that you thought you were seeing, or um, they may not seem like such illusions anymore. You may not be so suspicious about things. You could reconnect from past relationships, and there could be a lot of forgiveness. You could patch up a lot of relationships, but be careful that if there's any kind of like I just heard romantical. I like saying that word, and it just popped in my head. Any kind of romantical relationships you're having, make sure you're not using, like, be a little bit more realistic. Don't be don't try to make them more than what they really are, because you could really project that and then realize 6 months from now in June that this really wasn't like that great of an idea. So let's see what we've got here. So we have the King of Cups, pretty emotional guy. We have the Ace of Cups, but we also have the 10 of Wands. So I feel like you have been in a situation a romantical situation, a romantic situation, either with a spouse or somebody you're seeing, or maybe it could just be a friendship that's been a lot of hard work. And I feel like with this Ace of Cups, it's actually been very draining. I don't think that you're really feeling that emotional abundance right now. And you're really kind of guarded against it and might be in a little bit of denial with the Two of Swords that this is something that you can keep working on and making it better. And with the Ace of Swords, there's really going to be some kind of clarity, maybe some kind of communication. Maybe there's going to be a moment that comes to you that's like, oh, yeah, I've been seeing this all along and I've been working really hard on it. And it's time for me to get out of denial and make that choice and not be so guarded in that choice and just do it or say something. Six of Pentacles, because you're looking for balance. I feel like you've been giving too much, giving and giving and giving. Now, I think we talked about this at the beginning of November, that when you're giving too much to somebody, sometimes Aries, when they give, they like expect to receive back. And yes, everybody should have that equal give and take. But sometimes when you give to somebody who doesn't want to give back, you guys get really pissed off, rightly so. But they didn't ask for it. You know, they didn't ask for you to give. If you know that somebody's not going to give back to you, don't give to them. You know, so if there's a water sign in your life, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, or somebody who just really is very emotional but doesn't show a lot of emotion, he can be she. I'm just saying he because it's a king. He can be very nurturing. He can, you know, be very giving, but sometimes they tend to retreat and not do that, especially if they feel like they've been working really hard and not getting that emotional abundance back in a relationship. So you're looking for balance and you feel like you've been giving too much. And I think that there's going to be like either a conversation or something that comes along that really makes you realize, yeah, I've been in denial all this time. It's time for me to get out of this Two of Swords state and possibly have a new beginning. Could be a new beginning in the same relationship, or it could just be something you want to build yourself. Page of Wands, Three of Pentacles, and the Page of Pentacles. You could really be focused on work right now. You know, at the end of the month, there will be a big emphasis on work. But with the Page of Wands, you are actively listening to everything. There are little tiny details that you are seeing. If somebody is like changing the way that they are acting, you are noticing that. With this Ace of Swords and this Page of Wands, that pairing together is like a revelation. Oh, damn. Why didn't I see that? Why didn't I see that? It's like hindsight is 2020, you know? Yeah, some clarity. The Sun. Or there could be a Leo in your life. But I really feel like you guys are like, there's something, like something is going to shine out in a relationship. And I feel like it is an emotional relationship that you have invested in. And it could be like a work relationship. It could be, you know, that you've emotionally invested in this work and you've worked really, really hard. And now you're kind of seeing the light and you're listening to things and you're like, there's no balance in this. I'm doing more work and not getting paid enough. Page of Pentacles and the Three of Pentacles really is telling me you just want to have a new start. You want to have a new start in something. You want to have a new start in a relationship. You want to like rebuild your relationship. You want to rebuild, like possibly spruce up your resume, you know, like get yourself going in a way that is going to make you feel like the sun a little bit brighter. And you're going to have those opportunities in November to do that. And I think you're just going to feel a lot better than you have been. because you guys have really been in a rut this year, and rightly so. You know, there have been some really shitty things happening with Aries, and you guys haven't been yourselves because Aries have confidence. They have self-confidence. There's a fire in them that no other fire sign has. You know, so when we're actively looking and we're looking at all the details, make sure that there isn't like an ego part of that. Like, use your intuition, because you could end up letting that information roll around your head, and possibly like blowing it out of proportion. Four of Cups and the Four of Pentacles. You don't want to give in. You're totally apathetic, totally in a state of apathy. And you're almost like, I just don't care anymore. I just don't fucking care anymore. I just don't want to. And I'm holding on to that. I'm going to guard myself. I'm holding on to that very, very tightly. I'm not opening myself up to receive anything. And you could be, you know, saving your money up or feeling really poor and feeling the need to save your money up. But I feel like that you really want to move forward. You really want to have a new beginning. Yup. You have a social backing. And I'm not really sure if you're using that to your advantage. Like, are you talking to your friends? Are you talking to the people that are around you, your family, maybe even talking to your coworkers about the things that are going on in your life? Because it appears to me that you want to offer love. And this could very well be you trying to offer love to somebody and then not accepting it. And you're actually coming to a point where it's like, oh, should have seen that coming. Hindsight, 2020. But you're so persistent, you know. The Eight of Pentacles, again, looking at all the details, working really, really hard, and you could be doing that in your job, and you want to have this emotional fulfillment, and it's just not happening. So there you sit in meditation. You could be depressed. You could be like healing from a surgery. You know, you may have just been sick for a while, but you've been really guarded while doing it. And opening up to your surroundings, to your social group, may really help you get out of this rut that you have been in. Get that idea of, you know, that fascinating idea that the universe gives you. Doesn't have to be a really big idea. It just kind of comes out of the blue. And you're like, oh, I didn't really think about that, right? There you are, the Emperor, sturdy, in control. Interesting. Bottom of the deck, the Chariot. Definite movement forward. And I feel like the universe is possibly saying, I mean, this is a major arcana and a movement to move forward. And even though the Emperor is the Aries card, do you have an air sign in your life that is taking control over your life? We've had this Six of Pentacles, this hierarchy card, in your readings for several months. And I remember telling you that if you feel like you're constantly begging for things from somebody because they kind of take control over stuff, they're the ones that like you know, and it could be you trying to take control over stuff and then acting, you know, with like an air sign and saying, you know, I'm going to cut the bullshit out. This is my tunnel vision. This is what I want. And not really begging for it anymore. But I feel like that's what you've had to do is like beg for that recognition, beg for that attention, possibly always having to ask somebody else to do things for you or be there for you, give you the balance, the give and take that you so need, you know? And then we come to this time where Two of Wands, you're looking into your future because you're not happy. And your surroundings are making you unhappy. And why put yourself in that state? Because once you start looking into the future and things become very, very clear to you, what happens? The Ace of Pentacles. Again, doesn't have to be a huge, gigantic, it doesn't have to be an inheritance. You're not going to win the lottery. Somebody's not going to come up to you and be like, oh, I found $1 million on the street. It's yours. But this is like an opportunity that's going to come to you out of the blue. And you won't be expecting it. You won't realize it until it gets to you. And after the Tower falls, Aries, I'm sorry. Again, doesn't have to be mass destruction. But this is going to be that moment, that uncomfortable conversation, that uncomfortable email that you have to send to your boss saying, I'm resigning from my position. Because I always feel really uncomfortable when I have to do that. Or, you know, that very uncomfortable situation you've put yourself in that's unstable, that has to become stable again. Whether it's your own ideals about yourself, it's the clarity of a relationship, it's the clarity of somebody else, it's the clarity of the position that you're in at work. Once the Tower falls, there's always a blessing behind it. Always a blessing behind the pain. And then comes the stability, the Four of Wands, and the happiness, and you can move forward and you can rebuild, whether it's rebuilding on your own or rebuilding with somebody else. Learning a new skill that makes you feel stable and happy and secure. But you gotta let go. This Four of Pentacles, this guy's holding on to these pentacles so tightly that this Ace of Pentacles can't come in. I mean, how is he going to be able to hold another pentacle? He's all filled up. So something has to be dropped. Something has to be left behind. Because there's instability here. Holding on to things like really tightly, that's unstable. And you want to have this great opportunity in your life, a new beginning, a new start. So this very uncomfortable conversation or very uncomfortable moment or very uncomfortable realization in your life needs to be cut out. It needs to happen. The conversation needs to happen. And if you don't let the Tower fall, the universe will make it even more uncomfortable for you. And I don't know about you, but I don't like being more uncomfortable than I actually have to be. You know, I would rather make myself uncomfortable than have the universe come in and be like, ooh, you didn't do it the right way. It's our turn. Because you guys have good things coming, but you got to do it yourself. You have to do the work. You have to work with what the universe says. You have to work with those ideas and those opportunities. And yes, resting and meditating, sure, good for you. Maybe being a little guarded, sure, good for you. But I think you guys are really getting out of this state of, woe is me, I can't sleep, I'm so Eight of Swords, so Nine of Swords, so up in my head. I don't know what I'm doing because things are starting to move forward. And now the Tower is time. It's time to come down because you guys have worked on your hurts and your pains and your traumas and worked on, you know, bringing down that very guarded part of you. You're bringing that fire back out. Yes. So don't let a King of Swords or a King of Cups, you could be the King of Cups, very emotional. But I feel like it's like the roles have switched. The Aries are no longer the emperors. They don't feel like they're in control. I feel like they've given control to somebody else, and you guys don't do that. You are in control of your life because these two cards came out together. You could be dealing with another Aries, but the King of Swords is somebody who will tell you how it is. It's my way. It's my way or the highway. And you could totally be doing that. You could have air in your chart. But somebody's not giving you love, and you've been working really, really hard at it. And I mean, like almost in a very tedious way, or your job's not giving you love. And you've been working really, really hard at it. And you've been looking at all the details and listening very intently and using your intuition to know that things are just not right. So I see good things happening towards the end of November. I really hope that that tower kind of falls. I mean, I'm not saying that I want you guys to be uncomfortable or sad or upset in any way, shape, or form, but we all have to evolve. We all have to go through that. It's a constant movement forward. And if we put ourselves in a situation where the tower needs to fall, it needs to fall, you know? And when we're in denial about it, it's really hard to move forward. Okay, I'm going to stop babbling. A couple of things. First, everybody who has donated, thank you so much. It's really helping keep this channel going because I am doing this full time. There's no way that I could have another position, and it's really busy. It's fun. I love doing this, but I'm really busy. So those who have donated, I really, really appreciate it. And if you would like to donate and you're not ready for a reading, the link is down below for PayPal. All of the recorded readings they have a discount. So if you would like to get a recorded reading, I would love to do that for you. And I am offering gift certificates because the holidays are coming up, or if you want to get it for a birthday. And I'll be traveling. I am going one place in December. I think it's just going to be one in December. But after the first of the year, I'll be traveling up the East Coast, starting in Florida. So, and the first weekend in December, I'll be in a small town in Iowa. So if you would like to know more details about that, or you want me to come stop by, I would love to meet you. And we can sit and do some readings and have some friends over. Maybe have some coffee that has a little bit of Bailey's in it. I'm just kidding. No, I'm not really kidding. So let me know how you guys are doing. And I hope that everybody in the United States who celebrates Thanksgiving have a happy Thanksgiving. And I will see you guys for the December readings. Bye.